So, to the first lesson of the Tukutegi no Nigo no Insoku Zio Hin Seizogyo. So, 第一層、遠足0in 製造業での漢字です。So the first one we learn about this is 安心な食品を作る全体像。So the first two that you learn is two of this law. The first one is 食品安全基本法 and the second one is 食品衛生法。So 食品安全基本法は Food Basic Safety Law。So the Food Basic Safety Law is 食品の安全を確保するための考え方を示めた法律。So this law 食品安全基本法は a law that outlines the principle for ensuring the food safety。はい。安全を確保。食品の安全を確保。はい。The second law is 食品衛生法。So the food sanitation law 衛生 sanitation。はい。飲食が芸人の健康害を送ることを防止するための監視集団を規定する。So to prevent the health damage caused by eating and drinking, we must have the law. はい。As manager。はい。監視者は仕事を関係がある様々な法律を理解して守らなければならない。So, as a manager, we must understand and comply with the various laws that affect the work. So, 法律の理解 understand the law 様々 various 仕事の関係がある the relevant to the work 守らなければならない we must comply。はい、健康障害 health problem。健康障害とは彼らに有害なもの、含む食品を食べたことが原因で。So, health problem 健康障害とは彼らに有害なものを含む食品を食べたこと。食品 like food, right? 彼らに有害 that are harmful to our body。主に発熱や下痢など症状が出ることです。So the main symptoms of this are fever and diarrhea。発熱 fever and 下痢 diarrhea。はい、主に症状 like severe symptom。残そうが残り、最悪の場合、死に至ったりする。If you leave that alone, it's the worst case. It can lead to death。はい、洗剤や洗浄剤など、化学品、薬品が食品を排除、それを食べて中毒。like chemical detergent and pesticide get into food, cause food poisoning after eating it. So in this 洗剤 detergent, 殺虫剤 pesticide, 化学薬品 chemical. So after you eat like food have 洗剤 and 殺虫剤 detergent and pesticide in it, you get poison。 食品の中に鋭利なものを入っていて、食品を食べた時に口の中へ来たり内臓を傷つけたりする。So, if you is a sharp object in the food. It can cut your mouth or your organs. エジなもの is a sharp object. 口の中で切ったり、cut your mouth, and 内臓を傷ついて、like injures in internal organ. はい、注意点。はい、食べ過ぎ、飲み過ぎでお腹を壊して、下痢をしたりことは、一般的には健康障害とは言いません。If you drink too much, you eat too much, 食べ過ぎ or you drink too much, 飲み過ぎ it is normal to get like upset stomach or diarrhea if you eat too much or drink too much. So that is not considered like a health problem caused by food. はい、安全な職場環境 to make a safety environment. 消費者お客様に安全な食品を提供するためには、So 消費者は like customer 安全な食品を提供 to provide safe food for customer. We need to do something below. はい、労働者が健康で安心して働ける安全な環境を作ること。はい、creating a safe environment where worker can work with healthy environment and with peace of mind. So 健康 healthy and 安心 peace of mind. どんな作業場でも労働者も事務者も労働安全衛生法を守る必要があります。So どんな作業でも in any workplace 労働者も事務者も and worker and employee must comply with the rule of 労働者衛生法。はい、労働者が毎日身体的にも心理的にも健康で安心して作業ができるように管理者は率先して良い環境を作ります。So the manager had to take the initiative to create a good environment so that worker can work every day in healthy and safe environment, both physically and physically. So 労働者毎日 well, the worker had to work with healthy mind and body every day. So the manager had to make the first move or take the first step to make a safe environment. はい、そのためには管理者を中期のようなソフト面とハード面の情報を対策を考えることは重要です。So as a manager, we have to consider both soft aspect and hard aspect of the work. So the soft aspect is 人の行動の対策 So this is against human behavior, soft aspect. Like we cannot see that thing, right? So we cannot see the human behavior or human, yeah. So 作業を行う場所の整理整頓や安心を確保するための業務手順やさなぎ手などルールを定めること。So we must establish rules such as work procedure and company regulation to ensure that the organization and safety work area xã lại like a rule like in the company give mục tiêu dùn like work procedure. So we must calculate that mean ensure the give mục tiêu dùn and xã lại hai đồng men ta thấy dạ sẽ sự bị kỳ tại sự tại sao. So this is the measurements of building facility and equipment. Ta thấy dạ này building sẽ sự bị facility and key equipment. Ở mỗi món ở hà cụ đầu cụ ô yoista thì asi no tame ni kikai o kobo tsukete. Right. So prepare to carry heavy object and cover the machinery for safety. Hai, omoi mono hago like when you carry this heavy object, you have to have the tool dogo to use for that. And the key card the machine, you have to cover that cover for safety. Right, sayo sato kanisa no chigao. Gamba de hataraiko hito tachi wa yaku hari ya yotte ikka ni suru yo wakeru koto ga dekimasu. So in the workplace, Genba de hataraku hito tachi wa in the working side, the people working on the working side. Yakuwari wa neither the role of that. We can divide that into two categories. Shirui category. Wakeru koto. Divided. So first one is Sagyosa, the worker, the normal worker. Hai. Kanisa nado kara seiji o uketa shigoto ya sagyo o suru hito. So kanisa nado kara, there's a person taking tasks under instruction from the work manager. Kanisa kara seiji o uketa. So the normal worker is the person that taking instruction from the manager to work and to do tasks. The second one is kanjisa, the manager. Sagyo sa ni CGを行う人。また、指示した仕事じゃ作業が達成できるように上限じゃ支援をする人。So this is the manager is a person that gives the order to the worker. And CG is the order, right? And to help with that, they also give advice and support to help them accomplish the task of work they are instructed to do. So task say accomplish. To accomplish that, they have to have like yoga, like advice and CN support. はい、感謝として基本的な用語として以下ミスがあります。So there are three basic terms for manager. So QCD, right? QCD is content of quality, cost, and delivery. every manager has to understand what quality work in the work site. 管理者はクイシリの要素の実現ができるかについて様々な管理をする必要があります。So the manager needs to carry out various controls to ensure that the elements of quality are being done. 実現ない being reality being real. The first one is quality. 品質。はい。生産する製品の品質のこと。生産。品質は quality。製品。produce and生産 the product. So this is the quality of the product we produce. 製品の品質を占めるものであり、顧客を満足を得るために品質を高めること。So this indicates the quality of the product, and we strive to improve the quality to achieve good customer satisfaction. So we always have to think about how to we make the product better to meet the satisfaction of the customer. 業務品質は良い仕事。So the business quality is equal to good work. So this 業務品質は良いの仕事。The second one in quality is cost. コスト。製する製品を構成する原材料じゃ製造にかかって様々な費用。The cost to product, the cost of the raw material, 原材料 and manufacturing, 製造 that make up the products. コストが低ければ So if we can lower the cost of the product, 製品の価格を引き下げて So we can bring the price of the product down, like decrease the price of the product. より売りやすくなる。So we can sell this more. より多くの利益を生み出すと。So we can generate more profits. More profit from it. So this is the cost is the raw material, the cost for buying raw material and the manufacturing for the food. So if we can lower the cost, we can make the price of the product decrease. Therefore, we can sell more, and therefore we can make more profit from it. The last one, delivery low key. 顧客が製品を欲しい思ってから入手できるまで期間のこと。So this refers to the time between the customer wants the product and the time that they get the product. 顧客に約束 約束した納品日を守ることを言って、This refers to the meeting of the delivery dates promised to the customer. はい。約束した納品日 This is a promised day that we promise to the customer. はい。一家の期間を適切な設定して遅れないようにする。So we following the set of the time period to avoid delay. はい。受注リードタイム。受注してから製造を開始するための期間。So 受注は like the taking order from the customer. So the time that start manufacturing after receiving an order. This is usually lead time. The time that we start manufacturing after taking the order. はい、調達数リードタイム。原材料を購入して使える状態にするまで期間。This is the preparation step. This is the time that takes to purchase the raw material and make them available. 製造リードタイム。製品を作るための期間。The time to take it to create a product. 製品を作るための期間。はい。物流リードタイム。顧客のに製品を届けるの期間。So this is the time that we have to deliver the product to the customer. The time it takes to deliver the product to the customer. So we learn about four of this. 受注は like after taking the order. 調達は like make the raw material available. The 製品リードタイム the time we need to make a product. And 物流 is a delivery time. これらまとめてクイシリと言います。So the owner about クイシリ。会社はクイシリの実現ができたかどうか。で、会社や商品者から評価されます。So the manager are evaluated by the company and the customer based on whenever they have achieved the QCD. 会社と商品者評価 like the comment from the 会社 and the customer. 品質がとても良くてもコストや納期が求められていることから外して入れて良い成果を言えません。So if the quality of the product is good, even the quality is good, but the cost and the knoki or the delivery is not from what is required, we cannot call that a good result. The last is 上司や部下と話し合って情報を共有することは大切です。So this is important to have to talk to the senpai or the go high about the information that we gather. Like we need about to know about PDCA cycle. So PDCA is contain about plan, 計画 do 実行 check 作定評価 and action 対策 and 改善。はい、初期の上数のプロセスを繰り返して実行することで業務改善を目指す管理方法です。So the PDCA is a manager method aimed at improving the manager factory by repeatedly carrying out the following four process: plan, do, check, and action. Plan 薬を実現するために目標じゃ実施する内容を計画する。はい、to achieve 実現 to achieve PCD we have to plan goal 目標 like goal and implementation detail 内容 detail about the plan do 実施することを決めた時期に実行する。So do what we have decided to do and when we decide to do it. You see that to do what have been decided and at the time that we decided that. Check 実施した結果、目標通り成果で出たか確認する。So we have to 確認 to check 実施した結果 what we have done, the result of what we have done. And 目標通り like in the plan step we talk about 目標 like the goal that we set up, right? So in this step we check that again to make sure that meet the goal that the result is that intended. High action 生きた内情を振り返し行わない取り組みにするための修正点を考えて計画を反映する。So we will looking back at what we have done before and thinking about what we need to improve 修正点 what can we improve and reflect it on the plan 反映 reflect it. はい、3年サイクル So to achieve QCD, we have to have consider about 3M or the 3M. QCD をそれぞれを目標を達成することのために管理対象です。So it is manager targets to achieve the QCD goal. The first one we learn about this is material. 原材料現場で使用する大原料 So this is the raw material we use on the workplace 現場で the workplace 原材料 the raw material. So the material that is in English this is the raw material, right? The second one is man 人作業者 the pupil the worker. The leg is a machine 機械装置器具など the machinery and the equipment. So that is 3M, the 3M, the material, man, and machine. So if we add method in this, that it will become 4m. And last, if we add measurement in it, we contain Kensa and Sokute, that it becomes 5m. PDCA サークルを回すためには、結果として、クイシリの達成要求を確認するだけでなく、So, about PDCA circle, it is not important not only to check the achievement status of QCD at a result. It is not the result alone, but not about the Keka result alone, but we have to check in the 現場で実際に管理できる対象を具体的に知って、as a workplace, we have to specify the target that we actually be managed on site and continue to check them. We have to check what is the actual result on the working place and make sure that continue to check them eventually. That is very important. So, as a manager, 監視者は現場のサニアムの要素を把握して一家のことを注意する必要があります。So, as a manager, we must be aware of the Saniam situation of the site and pay attention to the following. 要素を把握 aware of the situation at the workplace and pay attention to the following. 作業者はルール通りの作業しているか? So the first question is, are the worker following the rule or not? The second question we have to ask is, 作業者はその日を体調が悪くなるか? So, is a worker feeling unwell that day, feeling sick that day? いつもと違うの異常が起こっていないか? Is there anything unusual happen that day? 異常 unusual happen in that day. はい、漢字の結果として記録。So this is the record of the result. クイシリの成果は実績情報として測定させます。So the result of QCD are measured as performance information. The result information. It will be measured by the information that is on the actual working place. したがって管理者は実績情報を収集するが必要があります。So it is important for the manager to gather the 実績情報 the information. その対象として一家上にものがあります。So we will divide the subject that we have to record under this information. So this is the information we have to record, right? 工程で原材料を導入する量。原材料 the raw material. The amount of the raw material inputs in the process. 導入 input in the process. 工程 process. The first one is the raw material input. はい、工程で人が作業する時間、作業開始から終了まで時間。So, the working time of the worker from the start 開始から終了まで from the start to the end 標準的に決めた時間を標準2度タムを言われて So the standard working time is also called standard lead time. So the second thing we have to measure is a record. The time that the worker start the work and finish. 工程で製造した。できたかよ。The third thing we need to measure is the amount of output procedures in the process. できたか the output of the process. The fourth thing is we need to record a 工程で製造した用品の出来高の量、ブロマリを計算するために必要な情報。So we need to not just about the amount of the product, but also how many good products are there. We need to Buromari. We need to calculate the yield of the product. Like how many percent of the good product and the bad product in one batch. はい、設備の異常じゃ、設備が止まった時を上手。どんなことがいつ何回発生した。So, if the equipment have malfunction, like the equipment stop working, or it is happening unusual for the equipment, we have to ask why it happened. どんなことが issue when it happened, and 何回発生した and how many times that it happened. The last one we learned today is about how to calculate the man hour. 工程で人が作業する工程の工数。工数はある作業の作業量のことです。So the man hour is the amount of work done by people in a process. So if you see the question about 工数, that question is asking about how to calculate the man hour. 工数の計算式は作業時間 multiple by 人数です。So the formula for the man hour is a work time multiplied by number of people. So this is an example question for that. 一つの作業は3人の作業者を監修されること必要があります。そのうち作業者 A は2時間を働き、作業 B は1時間を働き、作業 C は4時間を働きます。その作業の工数は計算してください。So, in one workplace, there are 3 people. And worker A have to work about 2 hours. the worker B has to work about 1 hour, and the worker C work total for 4 hours. How many man hours in the total to complete the work? We can calculate this by just man hour equal to total hour every worker have work. So this is worker A 2 hour, worker B 1 hour, and worker C 4 hour. So the total hour of this is 2 plus 1 plus 4 equals 7 man hour. So that is all for the lesson today. Thank you for watching the lesson.